Wildfires aren't just getting worse, they're becoming unstoppable. We've seen massive blazes in California, Australia, and Canada, but do you know why they're all different? Or why are they all getting worse? Today, we'll break down these disasters and what they mean for the future. From California's wind-driven infernos to Australia's explosive bushfires and Canada's slow-burning megafires, each region faces unique challenges. So, what makes these wildfires similar or different, and why are they all getting worse? These wildfires have been so significant you probably remember them. The fires in California, Canada, and then Australia. The first wildfire I will be showing is the California wildfires, which happened the most recently, starting in this past January. The wildfire impacted the metropolitan area and San Diego County the most. The California fires caused over 57,000 acres of damage and over 18,000 structures destroyed along with it. Along with 200,000 residents to leave their homes and caused power outages and road closures for days. From all the destruction, more than 30 people's lives were also lost. This fire was really seen as more extreme than usual because of reasons like the wind gusts reaching up to 100 miles per hour and the prolonged drought conditions that left California's vegetation extremely dry and susceptible to ignition. The next prominent wildfire was the Canadian wildfire. What happened in 2023 had over 6,500 small ignitions to make the worst wildfire Canada has seen. The fire destroyed 45 million acres of land, which is almost incomprehensible. To put this into perspective, think of an area bigger than all of North Dakota. Or to really show the size, think of Hinsdale if it was 15,065 times the size it is now. This amount of area damaged had 200,000 people to be displaced in areas like British Columbia, Alberta, Quebec, and the Northwest Territories. But more than this, it caused huge smoke and air quality hazards that not only reached us in Hinsdale but went to even Europe and China. The final wildfire I will be talking about happened in Australia. This fire was the least recent fire happening in 2020. This was the largest wildfire recorded in Australian history, giving the fire the nickname the Black Summer. These fires took 46 million acres of land, which if you think is a million acres more than the Canadian wildfire, which is already bigger than the whole size of North Dakota. It equates to Hinsdale if it was 15,400 times bigger, causing more than 3,500 homes to be destroyed, resulting in the loss of 33 lives, and from smoke inhalation it was almost 400 indirect deaths. Most of the fires happened in the Blue Mountains World Heritage Area, also causing South Australia, or more directly Kangaroo Island, to lose 50% of its vegetation. From this, over 3 billion animals were killed or displaced. If we were to line up 3 billion average-sized animals, like mice, they would stretch over 1.5 million miles. That's 6 times the distance from Earth to the Moon. The smoke pollution on top of that went as far as New Zealand and South America. Being caused by droughts, temperatures going up to 120 degrees and strong winds. We just talked about a lot of numbers, but let's put this into comparison using the biggest fire in our city's history, the Great Chicago Fire. Let's talk about the smallest fire out of the three. The California fires. I said that the California fires burned over 57,000 acres, and that seems small compared to the other two, but then let's think about how many acres were burned during the Great Chicago Fire. The Great Chicago Fires burned 2,100 acres, about a third of Chicago. That's a huge fire, but that's still 27 times smaller than the smallest wildfire we talked about. This is also thinking about the time period this happened. When back during the Great Chicago Fire there was less equipment and less of a response time to cure a fire like that, and it's still 27 times smaller. The fires in California also left 2 times as many people without homes. 200,000 homes were destroyed. There's about 11,000 homes in Hinsdale, which means all of Hinsdale's homes were wiped out 18 times over in the California fires. So what's similar about these wildfires? Well, the main reason for the more intense climate change and weather patterns is human activity, which makes it increasingly more common for these types of wildfires to exist. The longer droughts and the higher winds and temperatures all make for more possibilities of wildfires. There were heat waves and droughts in all 3 of these situations. These all partook in making the environments, even though all different types, a great way for fires to start. Everything dried out. Reduced snowfall and atoms like lightning, which contribute to a lot of massive wildfires. Also longer fire seasons. All three of these places have wildfire seasons, but they have all increased in huge lengths the past decade. But while these all have effects from human presence, each was caused by